Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors. Today, the 14th of April, we begin our technical videos once again after a 6-month passage while we were rebuilding our building. So today's entry in our technical videos is called A Tale of an MGA Engine. This engine's pretty knackered. The owner bought the car in Arizona, drove it from Arizona to Toronto. Just before he got to Toronto, he started having real problems with it. Well, let me show you how horrible the inside of the engine is, which means how durable the engines truly are, because this was running. I mean, we drove it on and off the trailer, and we drove it around the block here a couple of times. It was still maintaining oil pressure, the hot oil pressure at speed, you know, up 4,000 RPM, was 52 pounds. Hot idle oil pressure was down around 10, but I still maintain that the hot oil pressure isn't very meaningful. It's what the pressure is at high speed. It smoked a lot, but geez, it ran. Okay, well let's find out how truly horrible it was, and the fact that it still ran is impressive. So here's the engine. We had this up the other day. Let me turn this guy up, see if we're, let me get the piston up to its very top position. There we go. And you'll remember that we showed these holes in the pistons here and here, and the melted aluminum on this side. I know it's all wet, so it's kind of hard to see. We just got it out of our cleaner, but that's melted aluminum, and that means that it was suffering detonation. Let's go over and take a look at some of the other bits and pieces of the same engine. Here we have the box of nasties. Now this MGA engine had wire wheels in the front, and there is a particular piece that goes on the inside of the hub to keep the grease from spilling out onto the splines. If you don't have that original piece, apparently you can make it up with a piece of, I don't know what this is, but it's all crudted on the side, but it fit in there, and a piece of cellophane. So that that was the front grease retainer on this MGA. Then we have down inside here, we have our clutch disc, which isn't that bad. We're just starting to see where the rivet here is shiny. Okay, that is the fabric. The clutch fabric has worn thin, and it's worn down to the rivets. That's what that means. And as a result, we've got this sweep here in the pressure plate, so you can see where that rivet was scarring into the plate here. Let's look a little more deeply here. Here's the water pump. It's an aluminum water pump. I think maybe Worldwide Imports, Peter Caldwell, is starting to rebuild water pumps. I hope so. Nice to have a cast iron one. Here's gaskets and motor mounts that have sagged. I mean, you can see these sags and stuff here. And it'll take us just another minute or two and show you the rest of the stuff. Here are the lifters. Now, lifters are supposed to be absolutely nice and shiny at the top. Well, these are about as knackered as you can get and still call them lifters. These are just awful. Here's one which looks better than all the rest, and yet this one has a pattern. You can see it was not spinning, so the cam was always coming at it in the same direction. These guys are supposed to spin, but look at these. I mean, they're hemispherical. They're just awful. Awful. And just as the lifter is horrible, the cam is just toast. So we'll take a look here at the cam. Here's a pretty good cam lobe. You can see that this has still got a pretty good profile on it. It's really egg-shaped, okay? But when we compare number 7 to number 6, you can see that number 6 is all worn down. Number 8 is all worn down. Gosh, all these are worn down. I mean, this thing is just awful, awful, awful. And supposedly, of course, this is what all MG owners are told when they buy a new car. The engine was just rebuilt. The rocker shaft, we've cleaned some of the stuff up so far. The rocker shaft, you can see there's some wear pattern on the bottom of the lifters. You can see these round areas here where the rocker's been hitting the valve stem. That's not unusual. I just took a call from the machine shop to tell me that the cylinder head is cracked, so that's no good. Oh my gosh. We've cleaned up the rest of the stuff, things like gears. These hardly ever go bad. I know people buy new timing gears, but really they don't go bad much. We just got done cleaning up the distributor, although I think we cleaned this up. I think we'll send this up to Jeff at Advanced Distributors, Minnesota, get that sorted out. But I just wanted to show you how horrible the inside of this engine was, and yet we were just happy driving down the road at 60 miles an hour. So that's about the scoop. I wanted to, I got one more thing to show, if it's even here, and that's the throwout bearing. Here we go. Here's the throwout bearing on the gearbox. Now this carbon face should stand about 1/4 inch proud of the metal, and if you can come in from the side, you'll see that there's nothing proud about this. This is all worn flat. The steel has been worn away, so this guy is really, really in tough shape. So it's absolutely amazing that this guy was still running as well as he was, and it is a testimony to the durability of our cars, that they can still run when they're as shot as this. Tune in next Tuesday and we'll let you know what more we find out about this engine.